This is Leeds Trinity University.
Hello and welcome to Yorkshire Voice Newscast programme at 1:15. I'm Erin Carney.
And I'm Grace McGrory. Coming up in today's programme, we'll be hearing from Will Cole about the famous Hand of God shirt, and we'll be revisiting an old childhood TV show.
But first, Dr. Max Farah, a board member from the David Olawale Memorial Association, will be joining us.
For those of you who aren't familiar with David's story, he was a Nigerian British citizen who was killed in the river at the hands of two policemen. 5 years on, a memorial bridge and plaque were unveiled in Leeds city centre, but sadly, vandals stole the plaque.
Hi, Max. You there? Thanks for joining us.
Yes, hi.
So just for our listeners, could you please tell us a bit about what happened after the original unveiling of the plaque on the 25th?
Yeah, just one sort of factual thing. David Olawale was actually, in our view, drowned by two policemen in 1969. And we didn't start this charity. There's an awful lot of music banging away in my ear. Can that be removed? I'm getting a lot of background music.
Is that better for you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry
that's
about that.
Better. Okay. So just to recap. So David Olawale arrived in Britain in 1949 and spent most of the next 20 years in Leeds. But he was drowned, we believe, by two Leeds policemen in 1969. We didn't start this work until, well, initially in 2008, we had a committee for the memory of David Olawale, but we became a charity in 2012. The Blue Plaque initiative that we've just unveiled last week took us quite a long time to get in place, but thanks to the help of the Leeds Civic Trust, we've raised the money to pay for the Blue Plaque and to have a ceremony to install it. And that all happened in a very moving way last Monday, and it was up for, we think, about maybe we're not quite sure how long it was before, 3 hours perhaps, before somebody came past the plaque, which was screwed into the stone facing on Leeds Bridge. They obviously bought some kind of device and levered it off the wall and stole it. Now, this went alongside a program that we haven't really until now made much fuss about, because we just think it's some lone idiotic racist who'd been walking around the city putting with a spray can racist graffiti and targeting David Olawale. As some of you might know, the city council had sort of about a month ago announced that they were naming a new footbridge after David Olawale, very close to the Leeds Bridge. So this seems to have stimulated some idiotic, no-brain racism among this tiny minority of people who still think like that in the city, to attack what is now what was going to be the manifestation of David's life as a blue plaque. Since then, we were very wounded by this assault, but it's turned completely on its head, and we've had a massive outpouring of support, not just from ordinary members of the public, but from various, significant bodies like Yorkshire Post newspapers, who did a front page story about how disgraceful this was, and lots of social media, lots of attention. The Guardian's run a couple of stories on it. So it's been fantastically, paradoxically, it's been fantastically helpful to our campaign to remember David Olawale. The latest thing, which you may have picked up or you may not, but a company called JC DeSalle have put the blue plaque, photos of the blue plaque, on screens all over the city. So the blue plaque is now in many more places than just on Leeds Bridge, and drawing a huge amount of attention. In some cases, huge screens have got the blue plaque on it. And, curiously, we're energized and inspired by all this support that we're getting. And of course, we've raised a whole pile of extra money to buy to commission a new plaque to be made, and we will install it in a way that these people will not be able to steal it again. So that's the update.
Well, it's been heartwarming to see the response since, and it's great that there's now been a positive outcome from such a horrible experience. But thank you so much for joining us today.
All right. Thanks very much for calling me up.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Oh, what great work Max is doing. And it's really uplifting to see how the communities come together after obviously such an awful event, really.
Yeah, so now, today's actually a very unique annual holiday. May the 4th be with you, Grace.
You too, Erin.
So, for those of you who may not know, May the 4th be with you is the catchphrase of Star Wars Day on May the 4th, the unofficial holiday celebrating the Star Wars franchise.
I'm really sorry, Erin, and to all the Star Wars mega fans out there, but I'm just not sure about this. I'm just not sure about Star Wars.
Have you seen any of them even?
No, Erin, and I'm not going to lie, I don't intend to either.
Do you not? So I'm not claiming to be a super fan myself, but I have seen the films, kind of grew up on them always. But some people do take it very seriously.
Yeah, I can feel eyes staring in my direction right now by our very own Star Wars correspondent, Darren Harper.
So, Darren, I was about to say, will you tell our listeners how you're celebrating the big day?
How not to celebrate? It's the greatest day of the year. Forget Christmas. Forget your birthday. Star Wars Day.
Own sound effects included.
Oh, of course, of course. Look, it's a great day. Look, Star Wars is my childhood. It's everything. It's the first film I saw at the cinema when I was 5 years old in 1977. It's just been in my life for a long, long time. And yes, it may be a little bit nerdy, a little bit geeky, but it's just a wonderful story of good versus evil. It's cowboys and it's a western. It's sci-fi. It's everything all in one. Well, 9 films with a few spin-offs and TV series. I mean, what more could you want?
I know it's certainly a great series and it's great, but can I please ask, what have you got on your feet today?
Okay, so you may not be able to see these on camera. I'm just going to lift my leg up there. So these are limited edition Chewbacca Adidas high tops.
Wow.
Which my wife bought me last year. Not even my birthday, just bought them for me. I know. So they go alongside. I've got a pair of Luke Skywalker Adidas. I've got a pair of Han Solo Adidas. And I've got these ones. And you can't get these. You can't buy these, Grace.
Yeah.
You can't buy these anymore.
Oh, you
I
gutted.
don't want to say, but yeah, I wonder why.
Because really, this is only like I think the 3rd time I've ever worn them, because they cost a little bit of money. And when it was raining this morning, when I walked out, I was a little bit worried that it was going to be a little bit of an issue. I did not want to wear them because it was raining. But look, I mean, we got to bask in the glory of Star Wars. It's what a wonderful day.
Yeah,
Have you never seen any of the films, Grace?
Nothing.
None of them, not even the new ones.
Nothing.
Not the
When I say,
TV series?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What do you watch then?
Well, this is a whole situation.
I don't know if you know, Darren,
Yeah.
about Grace and her films that she's seen
So,
or hasn't seen.
Okay.
So I've realised since coming on this course, I
Yeah.
have watched a lot of films. I've just realised I've only
But-
watched a certain type of film.
Which are
Period dramas.
okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with period dramas. I like a good
Nothing
period
I
drama.
like, I love a period drama. Yeah, just the
Think
clothes.
of this. Effectively, Star Wars is a period drama.
Well,
It's just set in a galaxy
Try
far,
and
far
sell that
away.
one.
it's the galaxy
It's got
far,
a princess.
far away.
It's got a princess.
Yeah, there's a princess, but there's also it's the galaxy far, far away, which kind of maybe if I tried it,
I
I
think
can't
you
really
should.
knock it.
Can't knock it
until
till
I
you try it, definitely.
And then you've got to think about, well, what order do I watch them in?
Oh,
Because that's a whole. I
It's
could
a
do a whole
whole-
podcast just
yeah.
on that.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
quite a
It's a
complex
huge
topic.
subject.
9
on-
Yeah.
films.
9 films. Yeah. Which
But-
order do you watch them in?
Yeah.
Which order?
I mean,
you
I
say
can
to
go
us?
into it. If you've got time now, I
We'll
could
go
go
on
into
for
it.
Star Wars Day.
Okay.
Tell us, Darren Harper,
right.
Star Wars mega fan.
Okay,
The
right.
correct order.
The correct order. You can go in production order. That's probably quite popular. So you'll start with episode 4, 5, 6, and then go to 1, 2, 3, and then 7, 8, 9. But I would like to tell you about the machete order. Okay, because what that does is you go for production order initially, so 4 and 5, New Hope, and then Empire Strikes Back. Then you go back to the prequels, but you forget about the Phantom Menace because let's be honest with you, it's rubbish. So you go then episode 2, episode 3, then back to Return of the Jedi, and then you do 7, 8, 9.
Oh,
Happy bunny.
I'll listen to this back. If
You're not
I ever...
No, you're not. Don't lie to me. Grace, you are lying to me. I can see it in your eyes. It's just going in one ear and out the other. Never going to watch them.
Wow. Watch your space. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I'm just going to do this for the rest of the podcast.
Little play out. Yeah. So as insightful as that's been, Darren, I'm still not sure it's for me. But anyway, we're going to go now from May the 4th to May the 5th.
Love that little
Thank you.
cutaway.
Thank you.
So with the local elections coming up on Thursday, we've spoke to the people of Bradford about whether they'll be lining up at the ballot box.
No, to be honest, I don't really have any interest in it all.
If you don't vote, you can't complain, can you? So we've voted whether we've done right or wrong. We've voted for who we think. Right.
It never changes. Yeah, it's always a fix, so it don't even matter what you say or do.
It makes any difference.
No, but I feel like they need to get rid of Boris. It's awful. Even I know that, and I don't really pay attention to politics.
Gosh, it doesn't sound too hopeful.
No, it doesn't. And it is such a shame because we were discussing this earlier and we were kind of saying, I don't think, people, like, it is so important, these local elections. And it's such a shame that people do have kind of that view. But then if that's what view they have, that's what view they have.
I know. Well, now, if you're a little bit older than us, the words "the hands of God" are probably just still as crushing as they were back in 1986.
Yes, our reporter, Will Cole, has the latest on the sale of Maradona's famous shirt.
It's 36 years this year since Maradona's infamous Hand of God goal sent England packing from the 1986 World Cup in Mexico. Steve Hodge was in the England squad that day, and despite having his World Cup dreams crushed at the hands of the Argentinian superstar, Hodge still swapped shirts with Maradona after the final whistle. Following Maradona's death last year, Hodge is now looking to sell the shirt at auction and cash in on one of the sport's most valuable pieces of memorabilia. The shirt looks to be going for upwards of £5 million, but the Argentinian Football Association are pleading with Hodge to sell the shirt to them and bring it back to Argentina where they say it belongs. A delegation from Argentina, including members of Maradona's family, are reported to be in London as they attempt to buy the shirt worn by the World Cup winner for themselves. There's currently no indication that the auction will be cancelled, so it remains to be seen who will get their hands on the infamous shirt.
Sounds exciting.
5 million was that?
Yeah.
Gosh, imagine.
Imagine that much money. Crazy. Anyway, so last night, stand-up comedian Dave Chappelle was attacked by someone who lunged at him on stage in LA. Security did intervene, and the actor Jamie Foxx was also among those who tried to help.
So the incident happened at Hollywood Bowl, and one witness said that they saw him flying into the air, while another caught the commotion on camera.
Make some noise for hip-hop history.
Yeah, that sounded awful. I heard that earlier and I was quite shocked that it had been caught. I always do think it must be really hard for live performers to carry on when audiences are kind of heckling and shouting.
Yeah, it is really tough because I've actually had experience of this myself.
When?
So I dance,
Yeah.
and a couple years back I did a professional pantomime, which obviously you do get used to call and response. It's kind of part of the panto experience, but just some people do take it too far, and it's really hard to just kind of have to stand there and take it almost and just try and ignore it. And that's the other thing, because sometimes they shout out funny things and just trying to not react. You get away with it a bit more in a panto, but there was a couple of incidents that were a bit awkward for the performers. It's just really not nice. It ruins the fun for everybody else, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And if it's something you've been working on for quite a long time to then kind of have to do it, and you've rehearsed something as it is, and then to kind of have to respond to things that you didn't think are going to happen. I can imagine that's really difficult.
Yeah, it's the same for like West End shows when people
Yeah.
start filming it and put the flash on. It just distracts the performer.
Yeah. What do you think about people like singing along to songs?
Oh, it's-
if you're singing,
I don't think it's not really show etiquette. It's not really
Yeah.
theatre etiquette, but I can see why when you go to see something like Mamma Mia,
you want to sing.
You want to sing ABBA.
Yeah.
But in some shows, I think like in Mamma Mia at the end they say get up, or in Dirty Dancing they say at the end get up. But it's not really always the correct way to act, I guess.
Yeah,
It's not really what you
yes.
go there for.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on, you're never going to guess what's come out today. A new study's come out and it is disgusting.
Right, what is it?
So almost half of single men have been found in a survey to only wash their bed sheets once every 4 months.
Every 4 months. Oh, that's horrifying.
Once every 4 months. So
Oh.
we had to find out if this was true. So we sent our reporter out to find out how often the men of Leeds wash their bed sheets.
Oh gosh, excited for this one.
Do you know what? I'm actually pretty good for it. Like every couple of weeks, something like that. Yeah.
I think probably once every 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say. Yeah.
Like every 3 months or something.
2 months, 3 months, yeah.
Like once every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks?
I would say the same if I'm treating myself.
Every 3 months. Oh,
Maybe it is true.
Imagine.
Yeah, no,
Oh, that's disgusting.
not for me. Well, if you thought that was disgusting, to introduce the next item, Erin, we're going to play a game.
Go on then.
Okay, so if I say the word bogies, what springs to mind?
Definitely the sound of my childhood. Dick and Dom.
Yeah. So it's been announced recently that the dynamic duo are bringing back Da Bungalow with their 20th anniversary tour, and they're going to be causing chaos in cities including Birmingham, Newcastle, and Sheffield.
So to celebrate here on Yorkshire Voice Newscast, our very own dynamic duo have descended onto the canteen for their twist on the age of strictly for research purposes, of course. Oh no, can we not get hold of Charlie and Phoebe?
Oh, I was really looking forward to that.
To have them run around trying to play bogies. Oh, is
To
it not
play
going to
bogies.
work?
Well, do you know what, Erin? Maybe. I don't want to shout down the mic.
Is it as exciting in a radio
No,
room?
it's not. It's not when there's only 3 of you
Do
in
you
here.
remember watching it as a child? Like,
Yes.
how funny. I used to think, how could they actually have the
How
guts
could they
to do
actually
that?
do it? Yeah, I
They
was
go
the
to like
same.
really big libraries in like Oxford University. And oh gosh.
And just, yeah, basically, if anyone doesn't know the game,
Yeah.
basically, Dick and Dom would go into kind of silent places or like places where there wasn't a lot of noise, and they'd have a competition between both of them or with a guest. And they would try and see who could say the word bogies the loudest. And obviously, when you are younger and of Dick and Dom watching age, you think it is the most hilarious thing. And yeah, I loved it. Literally part of my childhood, but it's not going to have the same effect if it's just us two sat in here.
Well, it doesn't need to be, because I think we've just got Phoebe and Charlie
Amazing.
on here. Can they hear us?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
We can't right now. Is it?
Can you hear us?
We
We
can
can.
now. Do you want to explain where you are?
We are here in Science Zone.
The silent zone of the library. Gosh, so who's going to go first? Are you going to build it up? How are we going to do this?
Bogies.
Over to Phoebe.
Bogies.
Bogies.
No hesitation there from
Yeah.
Charlie.
Bogies.
You got to tell us about the reactions, guys. Oh, they're running up the stairs. They're running up the stairs.
Bogies.
Oh, up from the main staircase. That was Charlie there. Oh, Phoebe looked like to have fallen over.
We're getting told off.
They're getting told off. Oh my gosh, girls, run.
We got our first response, which was "Can you not?" Quiet down.
Bogies.
That was a clear one from Charlie.
That was good.
You're
Who's
going to have to commentate because you can see the screen.
I can just see it, but I wonder who's going
I
to be the
can hear
winner.
it.
But I'm nervous. Oh, over to Phoebe.
Bogies.
I can't believe.
They're fleeing from the scene.
Is your heart going pitter
I've never had such death looks in my life.
What floor are you on? Is there a lift? Oh, go down the back stairs. Go down the back stairs when you need to escape. I think we should have maybe one
Yeah,
fire
one more.
exit.
Go
Get
on.
that fire
Give it your
exit
best
door.
shot. Give it your best shot.
Bogies.
Oh,
Charlie, I think I had some laughs in the background then. Oh my gosh.
yeah, that was brilliant. Well done, Charlie and Phoebe.
Okay, the things we do for the
this
job. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you've missed any of the show, you'll be able to download it from all your favourite podcast providers.
Join us tomorrow at 1:15 for more news and hopefully less bogies.
Goodbye.
This is Leeds Trinity University.